Hello, good afternoon even. It's 3 p.m. and we are I'm on my own. What happened? What happened to Pete? So I'm on my own because Pete was doing an installation this morning, and I did think he was being a little bit optimistic to be able to come here. So anyway, I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes and just see if he dashes through the door. So Pete's not here, if anybody's just joined. Good afternoon, welcome to Pinhole Quilting. And this afternoon, it's a very warm afternoon here. Let's see who's here. Di, it looks like Di's here. I can tell from your Facebook photo instantly. And let's see. So basically, I'm here on my Todd, which is why everything will be in reverse, because there's absolutely no way that I can actually do what I'm trying to do if I can't see the camera and what's being broadcast. So I'm going to just touch that screen a second. It says comments will appear here, and they never do. They never do. So I won't be able to see any comments. So if you've been commenting, I hope that, no, I can write a comment, but no, I can't. That's done. Okay, not to worry, not to worry. Anyway, I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And if you're watching this on catch up, I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Whatever happens today, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day because we've got quilting going on here, right? So this is going to be the focus today. Quilting, that's what we do, pinhole quilting. And one of the reasons I'm mentioning that is because I've been writing a blog today, and there was a link in the newsletter, email newsletter I just sent out at about 2 o'clock today. And actually, I had better just check that everybody can hear me. Let me just have a quick look. And I can play this. Okay, it is going. That's good. Yeah, so I can, I'm going to give a demonstration in a bit because, you know, we felt we needed to do some demos of some of the things that we talk about with some of the customers that we've seen in the past week or so. So the blog post that I did today was all about long arm versus, and this is more for people who are kind of looking at long arm, but it's more for people who are thinking that a domestic machine, put it on a frame and it'll do the same job, just a bit smaller. And what I wanted to really highlight in that blog post is, having worked with both types of setups, I feel like I'm in a pretty good position, having sold an alternative brand for many years, since the 1990s, and then they put domestic machines on their frames. I've got a pretty good handle on what the issues are, what the benefits are, mainly price and budget, so it gets you into doing machine quilting, possibly by moving the machine rather than the quilt, which is great. That's what we love. If you've got a long arm that's a sit down, then you've got the depth of throat, 16 inches or 18 inches on the Handy Quilter range. So there's lots of reasons to go long arm rather than domestic on a frame. And what I wanted to do was tell you why some of those things which might not be apparent until you've got one. And then you think, oh, if only somebody told me that. So we've got the Festival of Quilts coming up imminently, 18th to the 21st of August, not September, of August. And we are looking forward to seeing as many customers of you that can make it, probably not by public transport. And we hope that we see you by coaches and cars and all those other things that will get you to the NEC. And planes, and automobiles, not the middle one. Now, one of the things that I also wanted to cover was something that came up. We never don't have a busy week, I'll be honest with you, but this one's been particularly all over the place. We were up in Scotland, which was absolutely delightful, and the weather was beautiful. And it was great. I connected with some friends up there as well, which is a nice thing to do. Don't often get the chance to do that when we're traveling around. Let me just see if there's any comments. Yeah, sorry about this. I'll just go over you. Oh, no, can't see. Oh, yeah. Okay, hi everyone. Hello. Oh, good. Link doesn't seem to work. It says you are live. Oh dear. Oh, that's a bit weird. Okay. I'm sorry that the link didn't work. I'm not sure why not. That's a bit of an error on my part. Yeah, so we were up in Scotland. So we did an installation and 4 sort of pop in and do some servicing and support with some of the customers en route. Yorkshire, Teesside, we saw Graham, we saw Marjorie, which was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That's so nice to see customers at their showrooms and studios and stuff. And Marjorie had recently upgraded to Amara with Pro Stitcher, and Graham's got the Amara with Pro Stitcher, and he quilts for other people up just sort of east of what's the name of the place? Can't remember. Anyway, it's north of Leeds. I used to live there. It's terrible. I can't remember the name of the house that it's near. Anyway, it's much more difficult without Pete. I've got to be honest. It is, because he's normally prompting me and going, yeah, what about this? What about that? The other thing that we're going to be doing is a bit of couching. Bit of couching. We thought we'd do a bit of couching. I went a bit mad and I bought a whole load of couching wool last year. And, hi, Susan. I can see Rachel. Hi from North Wales. Yeah, well, we went to everywhere except North Wales this week. Paul, you know Paul. Rachel, you know Paul. And Paul, who's got an affinity with Pro Stitcher, is our engineer in the west of Wales. He's right on the coast there. And Paul was doing an installation with a new customer in North Wales. So that's another person that's not too far from you, Rachel, actually. I'm sure you'd get on very well with those guys. So yeah, we've been traveling around. Pete was over in Lincolnshire on Wednesday. He had a gammy leg. I wasn't sure he was going to make it. I thought I was going to have to do that one. Yeah, cricket. Stretched for the run, didn't quite. The body was not as willing as the mind. And that's what happens, isn't it? You know, and sort of slightly damaged hamstring. Anyway, managed to do the installation on Wednesday, still hobbling around a bit. I got the most spectacular bruise. He said, I did hurt it. It was as if I didn't believe him. I mean, of course I did. Of course I did. He was hobbling around. But he's a bloke. And he's never done that kind of thing before. Whereas I have a whole scale of like, oh yeah, if you've done that, this is what you need to do. Because I've normally done it. So I've actually got personal experience of having, done cruciate, broken things, various other stuff. Whereas he never has. So this is all a whole new experience for him. So anyway, he did this installation in Lincolnshire. And I was doing the one in West Wales. And Paul was doing the one in North Wales. There we go. And that was, what else? We had another one. Oh yeah, today, how could I forget? Oh, I can't, because Pete's not here, is he? And Jane has got a lovely new shiny, sparkly Amara with Pro Stitcher. So we're delighted about that. And we have fun with you and your machine. Jane, it's great to see you at Stuart's event as well. This is one of the nice things about shows and events and when we do classes and stuff, is that we get to know our customers so much more. And it's one of the delights of having this business, is that we meet all these creative people and talk to them about quilting and creative stuff, not just quilting. Quite often we have, if we have the opportunity to have other discussions with customers, we find some really interesting other hobbies that people have, or what they've done in their other lives. So I'm just hoping that Pete sends that, because it's quite hard to do the zoom ins on this. So let's just talk about a couple of other things. Why on the domestic versus long arm I wanted to highlight, I was going to print out the blog, I've forgotten to have it from memory. You've basically, if you put like an 11-inch, there's a couple of brands that do 11-inch throat space. You think, great, I'll stick that on it. First of all, it's a very expensive option. They're quite expensive, those machines. But secondly, it's a swing needle machine, not a straight stitch machine. So you get a lot more movement on, even the straight stitch isn't as good as on a straight stitch machine. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that the needle and the hook on these long arms, like the one I have behind me, is set to a particular distance, which is just touching. And seldom, if ever, is a domestic machine set up like that. But it used to be set up like that when we were selling them, because we got an engineer to redo them specifically to fit on frames. Now, I don't think anybody else does that. I might have given them a heads up, that's what you need to be doing, but would anybody do it? Not sure. So that's why you've got to have the right machine, and be focused on having a specialist machine. And that makes all the difference. The other thing is we just saw a post this week on a Facebook group, a Pro Stitcher group, and it showed an Amara like the one behind me, just like that, and it had done 100 million stitches. It was only two and a half years old. I think it was less than 3 years old. So that's a fantastic number of stitches. Now we've got a customer in Sheffield who actually, now they use their machine industrially, because these are built to an industrial specification. I mean, they use industrial needles, and the one that they've got is a Fusion, which is the one slightly bigger than this, 24 inch, and it's got a Pro Stitcher, and they make screens for like showrooms and offices, you know, those kind of dividing screens. So they'll take like a logo for a company, put it on with the Pro Stitcher, and I know that 4 years ago that had done over 60 million stitches. So, you know, and that's working every week. So why else? Why else? Because we used industrial needles, the needles suffer from less deflection. What do we mean by that? What we mean by that is that when it's in the fabric, it's getting moved around in all directions. If you've got a less strong needle, that deflection is going to make a difference to when it goes down, is whether that hook and the needle actually make a proper stitch. So industrial strength needles are a lot stiffer, they're stronger, they've got a stronger shank, they don't have the flat, they've got a completely round, so that means also you can slightly tweak it to make sure that your timing is absolutely spot on. And these are the kind of things that make the difference. So if someone says to you, oh, it's brilliant, you can just use the same needles, that is not a benefit at all. That is a really clever marketing thing that someone went, well, we can make a positive out of this. But actually, I think I heard a car. Actually, these needles, which we use mostly sharps, we can use metallic threads with those. We don't need those Metallica needles. We don't need an embroidery thread needle to do the job that we're doing. We can use 100 weight. We can use, yeah, he's coming through the door. He is, he's coming through the door. His speakers, it's just here. You're on. I've been told, oh, he's limping. He is. I told about your injury and that you've got a big bruise. All right, I'll let him settle down. Get that on now. No time. You've got no time. Right, actually, could you look at any comments? Because that's probably more important right now. Oh, poor Pete. David, the hired help, did that. Oh, yeah, the groin. Oh, yeah, with massive bruising. Yeah, I think Pete's done that too. Have you done groin? Fine. Groin's fine, he says. Good. There you go. Now, I need you to zoom in, Pete, and this is reversed because I couldn't do it.
You've got the heating on?
No, the heating isn't on. It's just really warm in here. It's coming and goes, the heating on. No, I shut the door because of the noise and stuff. So have we got any comments that we need to address?
I'm just logging in.
Oh, he's just logging in. You can use mine. Mine's just here. It's on Pinhole Quilting. Jean Twycross or poor Pete. I know, Jean.
Liz is really, really sympathetic.
Oh yes, and there's Jane. Hi Jane, how exciting! I hope you like your speedy setup on the video of our setup of your Romara. That is such a lovely log cabin you've got in your garden. So nice to see you and Andrew, and we look forward to seeing your progress on that. Those beautiful quilts got much admired on Facebook, didn't they? And have a lovely, lovely trip to Colorado for the wedding. So you all switched on? Yeah, he's all switched on, I think. So I've covered 100 million stitches, domestic machines versus industrial, swing needle versus having a straight stitch. And yeah, so the other thing is that Handy Quilter, who are the largest manufacturer of long arm quilting machines in the world, now they actually make machines for other people as well. So in the States mainly, there isn't really the size of market over in the UK for some of those brands, and also some of them are just USA licensed anyway. But you know, they're making machines for companies that you would know as domestic machine companies. They make their domestic machines, great. Handy Quilter makes long arms, and they make them for those domestic machine companies. They might have that brand name on it, but it's made by Handy Quilter. I mean, the ones that for example, the ones that we used to sell, the FAF Power Quilter 16 was made by Handy Quilter, which is why we sold it, because it's got many of the same components, and we love that machine as much as we do other machines. So, you know, this is the things that you need to know, is that having something like Handy Quilter as a brand, it also made a decision at the beginning of its marketing when it decided to go worldwide to get all the CE standards and everything done, and also Australian, Japanese as well, so that they could market worldwide. And that is what's really given them their success. And that's why we were very happy to work with Handy Quilter, because they do it right. And that means as well that we can keep stock, we can market those machines as much as we like, whereas certain other brands you might find they say, okay, well, you got to order that bit from the States. And you might want to ask the question, why do I have to order just that component? Why can't I get it in the UK? Why do I have to order it from the States? And it might be because it doesn't have all the standards. And that is an important thing, particularly if you're going to use it and rent it out to other people or just for your own insurance. So just saying, just ask the questions. What about servicing and support? You know, that's also a really important thing. Is it in the UK? Is it in the US? Is it in the UK for one thing and in the USA for another? That has happened. And I put a quote up on our blog post, which was taken directly from an email from a customer who'd moved from a brand that most of you will know as a domestic machine manufacturer, very, very much in the quilting world. And that person has got a quote directly from their email about the level of support that we were able to provide. And she has the other brand, Longarm, sitting in her garage. It's quite sad, actually, that it's not being used. But the warranty was not able to be transferred either. And it was only 2 years. Handy Quilter is 5. So these are all reasons. These are all reasons. I'm doing like a big thing on this because what we find is people don't know unless they do the research. So I'm trying to help and say, you know, these are the important things that you need to look at, particularly since Festival of Quilts is coming up. Now the other thing is that we're going to do demo now, aren't we? Are any things to answer on there, Pete, or are you happy that we just go straight into demo?
There is one question.
Yeah.
Why don't they make titanium coated needles?
Why don't they make titanium coated? Oh, there was a reason
They
for
generally
that.
don't for industrial machines, do they?
They sometimes do, but I tell you, I do know the answer to this. Good question, Pete, whoever that was.
That was Liz Marshman.
Ah, Liz, thank you. I think I sent you your thread back. Yes, I did. You should have got it. Hopefully you got it. So titanium is very, very strong. Which is why you buy it. And it lasts longer in theory, etc. But because of how we set the timing, which is that there is a needle that actually just touches the hook, resulting in much better stitch formation than if you have a domestic sewing machine where there is no touch. But the strength of the titanium also has an impact on the hook. So if you've got a lot of wear on the hook, because it's not just close to, which is how domestic machines are set, it's actually just touching, then that titanium needle will wear your hook.
And the hook is a very expensive component, and a needle is a very inexpensive component.
That's it. Hope you all heard that. I'll repeat it in case Pete isn't synced on his mic. But yeah, the hook is expensive, needles much less so, to the point where you would probably never economically, having gone through a hook, actually it would never have worked out better if you'd not. Do you know what I'm saying? It would be better to buy the needles. That's what I'm saying.
So Liz says, yes, thank you. Can you hear me, by the way, out there in Facebook land? And Marie Suzanne says, I could not have coped with my lovely Amara without your after support and service.
Oh,
thank you, Marie Suzanne.
And it was so much fun. I mean, Marie Suzanne was on one of our classes. Workshops that was happened after COVID, after sort of like, you know, we'd all been not able to socialize, and it was so much fun. Although her husband was the only other man in the restaurant. Isn't that the case? I think we put you together, didn't we?
Yes.
Moral support. Yeah, lovely guy. Anyway, I hope everything's well with you and your machine. And are we doing a service down there soon? I think we're doing a service, aren't we? We certainly got it in the to be done.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So I'd like to talk to you about couching. I'm mid-couch here.
Am I here as cameraman now?
Yes.
Right, so you need to switch.
We can switch it round. How do I do that? It's up here somewhere. There it is. There you go. Perfect. Now I'm not using the Pro Stitcher. I thought about using the Pro Stitcher. I thought, no, actually that's on live. I think that's probably not wise. Now, couching. These are specialist couching feet, which come in a little box of 3. They are different diameters of the inside of the couching foot. So they have this like, the new ones that we've got in are different colours, which is very handy because the originals were just clear. And you had to peer at them and go, which one's which? So I've got the smallest on here at the moment for this blue, but I used the bigger one on this one. Is that there we go. I used the biggest one on this, which is so lovely. That was done using Pro Stitcher to show that you can do it, but I just wasn't keen on doing it live. Not that it doesn't work, it's just that if it didn't work, it wouldn't look great. Okay, so couching. There is an accessory that you can get for this, which, did I bring it over?
I don't know what it is.
This is where the telepathy fails. It's over on my desk, I think, actually, Pete. It's the hooks. The hooks. So what is couching? So what we're trying to do is secure the top, this, with the top thread. And you can use lame, you can use, you found them? Yeah, he's got them. You can use various other thick, still limping, various other thick threads like this chenille. But it helps if you've attached these little command hooks. One of them at the back, which we've got on this Amara. It's just right at the back. And it's not critical, as I'll show, because I will do a demo without it.
Don't know if I can see it from this side.
Oh yeah, just mind the box.
Sorry about the wobbliness. There's not much space here, so if I can just show you where the hook has been fitted on this Amara. So
it's just that.
It's at the back, behind the needle, and the yarn threads over that, and it feeds it nicely down into the hole in the foot of the couching.
So I've got a setting of 14 stitches per inch. I'm in cruise or continuous mode.
Oops.
I'll move that for you.
Health and safety nightmare.
Well, you weren't here when I set up, and I was going to use that as a little, and look what else I've got. So what I've done is I've marked up using one of the full line stencils and the pounce chalk my quilt. So I put it like this, and then I can just rub over the top of it. That's how I created the design on the top of my quilt. And then I just pull the couching wool through the needle. Etc. Okay, and I'll just finish at the top. That's the edge. There we go. Wouldn't that be nice on a baby quilt? Lots of clouds. Really cool. There's my second line. Now, to finish off, if you're doing edge to edge, it's easy enough. Obviously, you can just go off into the edge. But if you need to finish it off properly, probably just go back on it, and then I just trim off the end and then just go over the top of that as well. Like so. So it doesn't come undone. Okay. Now, on this other, so let me just show you these. Can you see these? Did you do a close-up of those?
I did.
Yeah, you can see I'm really proud of those. I love that one. Over here, this was one of the ideas I had for what to use, how to use up the samples that we end up with.
Love that yarn, it's great.
Isn't it cool?
Let's have a little look.
Yeah, look. Yes, look at that.
It's melon-sized.
Now, you know how when you see yarn and you think, oh, that's really, really nice, I love that. So then you, just stay there for a moment, then you just, then you think, okay, there's that one, but then there was that one as well. And I thought, well, that's really cool. Obviously, that's the one I used before. Then there was this one. I thought that was a lovely colour. And then I thought, well, if you're going to get some, you might as well get a few more. So I got that one. This one was really lovely as well, and that looked great in the picture.
It's beginning to look like an art installation now.
And they come in these nice little bags as well. Bernat blanket. Do you see what happens? I think we all know what happens. And it just keeps going
Is this a bit like fabric buying?
On.
Never know when to stop.
And on.
I have to go back. Need a wider angle.
And on.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Aren't they great? I just love them. Just love them. So there we go. That's my Bernat blankets. They'd be so nice on like a baby's throw for the floor, you know, like a playmat, wouldn't they? They'd be so good. But I do really love this one. So this one we use the thickest couching wool, and I haven't got a hook on this one. So you can just make sure with couching, you really do need to make sure that you've got plenty of excess. Some people put it on the floor, but I prefer to hold on to it.
Yeah, so if you don't have the hook, you've got to try and manage that yarn with your other hand.
That's right.
Okay, Liz, there's a request.
Yeah.
A very good request.
Yeah.
Can you show us how to start with the yarn? Because that's a really important
point. But you know
point.
why I didn't do that first, don't you? Because I wanted to get people excited and see my wool collection. But yeah, I'll do that. It's fine. I knew that would be something people would need to see. Now there is, I think there's a video on this as well. I can't remember if it's one of mine. We'll put this up anyway, and this will be on YouTube. So what you do, shall I start it over there nearest to you?
Yep, and I need to get a close-up for this.
Actually, should I do it on this black
Do
bit?
it on an open piece over here.
Yeah. Okay, so what you do, you're holding your thread, the thread end, and you do needle down, needle up, just like normal, but make sure that the thread goes through the foot, through the hole in the foot. So that's normal, nothing different there. But then what you do is you get your end of your yarn and you put it between the foot and the needle, like so, like so.
Okay, so that's down between.
Down between.
Yeah.
And then take it over to the right. So what it's done now is it's gone around, effectively, around the yarn. Hold both of those.
So that's taking the top thread around the yarn.
Yeah. Still through the needle and still through the hole. I put my hand position like this so that I'm holding on to the thread ends simultaneously each end of the yarn. And then I do needle down, needle up, and then I bring that through.
Okay, so just pulling on that thread and that pulls the yarn through the hole.
You've got to pull the top thread and the bobbin thread. Was my other hand in the way then?
No, I think it was okay.
Okay. And then you can secure it.
Now you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go again. You can just leave me to my quilting. Just need my...
So there is a bit of a technique to that, but it's actually fairly straightforward. And just check for any more comments.
I was going to show this on the capri as well, Pete. There we go. Isn't that great?
Sorry.
Yeah, so that is the couching. Two other things I want to demo. So if we can go over to the capri. Now we have got a capri available, a second user pre-loved machine. We're over here, Pete.
I'm on my way.
Come over here. I was counting up how many long arms we've got in our showroom at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's one to go on there. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, did I count that? 15. 15 long arms. I think I got that right. Might have lost count partway.
And we will have even more at Festival of Quilts. We will 9 in the classroom, and we will have, I think it's 8 on our main stand, so that's 17.
You're lifting all of those with your gammy leg. No, we got
Luckily,
help.
I have
We have help. Phew.
my new member of staff.
Yeah, he's not going to do it all. No, we've got other people too. Now, this is the capri.
Besides, I'm hoping my leg's a bit better by then.
Yeah. Don't go back to cricket too soon. Is all that Mark was saying. Right.
Yeah, but the cricket season doesn't last very long.
Yeah, but not till September, AP. Okay, so this is stitch regulated. It's got the insight table, so we've got our 2 magic eyes under here. Lovely magic eyes, insight table. This is the one that's available, isn't it? This is it.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is available. It's on our Pre-Loved Long Arms website, where you can also see any of the other long arms that we've got that are on the market at a lower price than a brand new one. So if that's what you're looking for a long arm and you want a keen price, it's a great way to get into long arm quilting, and they're really good machines on there. So what we do with this, obviously we're moving this instead, and I can do the same as I did before, but I'll just get a bit more yarn.
You could equally put the command hook on this machine as well.
Oh yeah, I have got it on one, but it's just not this one.
Not very subtle, that yarn, is it?
This one's a bit more in your face. But I was getting it for the, I thought we could use the X-Demo samples that we'd got and sort of write positive endorsement on them, like, love for something, for charity quilt, maybe. Graffiti quilts is what I was thinking. We could do graffiti with these. That's what the idea was. But I just, we've been a bit busy, haven't we? We can go over it.
Been a bit busy, yes. I think we've had one of our busiest weeks ever, actually, as far as machines are concerned.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Leave me here.
I mean, to be honest, you don't really need the stitch regulation for that, do you? I mean, you could run that in manual equally.
Oh, let's try it.
Depends what speed you've got. Needs to be a bit faster than that.
It's a very fast machine, this as well. Keep faster. Let's go to 900 plus.
Put your foot down. Pretend it's a Tesla.
At least there's no quilt, please. Now it just got caught down there on the. So that's where your biggest issue, right? In all of this, the only technique really that you need is to make sure that it's properly couched down by not having this just going straight. You need excess. If you have a yarn waller, then that's even better. Someone that can feed your yarn. Cool. Look at that.
Lovely stuff.
Right. So let's look at my notes. What else? Oh yeah, I was going to do the needle threading thing. Do it on this one. Because it's got nice bright green thread. I thought I'd do it on this one. So I was with the lovely Lynn on Tuesday. Yep. That was there and back.
Lynn's watching today, I think.
Hi, Lynn. It was so lovely to meet you. And it's quite away from here, which is... So Lynn ordered a machine, hadn't actually been to our showroom, but it was brilliant. We had such a nice time. And what I was so impressed with, and you might have seen it on Facebook, is some of Lynn's thread work, which is outstanding, absolutely outstanding. In fact, we were reminded of it yesterday. We were seeing some of the Van Gogh stuff, weren't we? The crows. So she really loves these sort of crows, background blackbirds. And anyway, she's got a Sweet 16, absolutely fantastic. And I showed her, because she's got a bit like, we have, not like the best eyesight in the world. So when you're threading up a needle on a long arm, some people go, well, it hasn't got an automatic needle threader, I could never use it. But with these techniques, I think I can show you a way. So if you try and thread your needle, obviously you're going to trim the end. This is glide, and it can split, so you definitely want to trim the end. So you've threaded it all up, that's cool, that's all fine and dandy. But if you just try and thread your needle like this, right, just aiming for it, it's really difficult. If you just try and do that, it's really difficult, right? So what you need to do, you put your other finger behind the needle and you go down the groove and it goes straight in.
Okay, so you were putting the tip of the thread into the groove of the needle higher than the eye.
That's right. And let it run down.
Running it down the eye.
And it pops in.
Straight through the eye of the needle.
So let's do it again. And by having your other finger behind it, doing things where your hands are coming together is so much easier for your brain to work out.
That's really good.
There we go, 3 out of 3. And Lynn was so chuffed I had to record her actually doing it. And I did that on the Sweet 16. It's on a video. In fact, I posted the video, but it wasn't as good as I wanted, so I will repost it to show you. But now you've seen it on Facebook anyway. Oops, I missed the thing. So that was one of the other little tips. You see all these little tips? These are the important things. When you get a long arm, it's not just about buying a domestic machine or a frame or a long arm. It's all about the things like this. And I know that, anybody could watch this. Of course they could. But I'm not, we don't tell everybody everything here in the Facebook Live. We couldn't possibly. So when you come to the foundation workshop, that's a full day workshop included with the purchase of your long arm for most of our machines. And even if you buy a pre-loved, a lot of them include it. So, and it's a great day. You basically meet with all the other people who've maybe got very similar experience to you. It's kind of like your cohort for those people who are on a similar long arm learning curve. And we've also got our Facebook group as well, which many of you who've already got handy quilting machines will know all about. And it's a great way to connect. That's why it's important to do your research. And Pete's going to add anything, but he's probably not, because he's probably tired from doing his installation and driving. No,
I'm fine. No, I was just thinking about pre-loved machines actually, because of course, following the upgrade to the customer this morning, there will shortly become available another pre-loved Avante. Now, the Avantes have not been produced for a couple of years now, but they're still incredibly popular machines. There were 2 available in North Wales. They've both now gone.
Yes.
There was another one that was traded in from a customer upgrade a few weeks ago, which was sold to Cheryl, whose machine I installed this week, which was sold even before we listed it on the website. And another one's becoming available very soon. If you're interested, get in touch.
Yeah, these are really nice machines, and all the details are on the website. So just give us a call, or we'll put you in touch. If the customer is selling it themselves at their own address, then they'll be able to demonstrate it for you. Otherwise, if it's here, we can demonstrate it for you, and we can take you through all the options. Ideal, absolutely ideal. That's why having this space is so valuable. Let's just talk briefly about the Festival of Quilts, Pete. In terms of what we'll have there, if you're a handy quilter owner already and there are certainly certain accessories that you would like, we're going to incentivize you to order so that we can actually send it to you in advance of the show, so you don't have to cart it around as well. Because actually it's really difficult, as you can probably imagine, to actually second guess what people want. Although some things you want to browse for, not everything. So we will be sending you details of that. Look out for that email. The other thing we'll have is a ton of glide thread. It's arriving next week.
Yes, in the next few days.
In the next few days.
2 pallets worth of glide thread.
2 pallets worth. Oh my life. Oh my life, that is going to be a lot of thread. So do not worry about having enough thread. Come, you know, at the show, that we will have lots. We will have lots. Come along. We've got all our Glide Thread Club packs, and we'll have some nice displays for you to select thread. We'll talk more about that next time, won't we? What else?
Yes.
Okay. I think I keep saying what else? But it's only because I started doing this Facebook Live on my own. We didn't talk through everything. We'd done most of it yesterday, but we normally have a little chat just before we start, just to kind of get on the same page, don't we?
Today, you're on your own.
I was on my own. It was scary. So, right.
I have my uses.
No, it wasn't scary at all. I got it all sorted. Now, we will see you next Friday. Yes, I'm around next Friday, so 3 p.m. Friday afternoons. We look forward to seeing you. I'll post this on Facebook and on YouTube so that you can watch it at your leisure, see how I threaded up the couching wool. And, oh, shall I just give you the information on the Bernat? Yeah, you can get this from various places. It's a very popular
So you've tried various brands, haven't you? But you think actually this works really well.
This is the best one that I've found, and it's got different weights, and it just quilts up beautifully. As you can see, you have very few problems with it. It's just really consistent, and it just looks great. And you just have to buy loads, because once you start buying it, you just want more. You just want more. What can you do? We don't sell it. We don't sell it, but I want to do I'd love to do a nice little throw with that. Cozy in the winter. All right, so catch up with you soon, next week at 3 p.m. We'll be talking more about long arms. If you've got any questions in the meantime, post them on your Facebook, make some comments below, say hi if you haven't already, say where you're from, and happy quilting.